Welcome to the WOTO podcast. Welcome to the WOTO podcast. Welcome to the WOTO podcast.
It's the WOTO podcast.
Welcome back.
It's the WOTO.
Podcast.
Hello, welcome back. It's the WOTO podcast.
Thank you for shouting that.
Thank you very much. It's been a while.
How long?
About half a year.
How long's that in minutes?
137,000 minutes.
Are you just going to say 137?
Just 137 minutes.
That would be 137 minutes. There are 137 minutes in every 6 months.
I'll tell you what, time has been moving very strangely for me at the moment.
Okay.
So 137 minutes for 6 months sounds about right.
What do you mean time has been moving very strangely?
Well, I wake up, I turn on my laptop, I play a little bit of Civilization 5.
Well, no one plays a little bit of Civilization.
Well, that's what
5.
I mean. I start it early in the morning, and I look around, 12 o'clock at night, straight away. Like, time is different for me.
Time is different.
All I'm saying is that I don't move linearly through time. So, 6 months being 137 minutes long, possible.
Possible for you because you're outside of the continuum.
I am outside of time itself. So if you ask me to be, say, here, 10 a.m., that could be true. Or it could be that I am already here, or I've already been here. That's how weird time is for me right now. Yeah.
So the opener for this podcast is a revelation
On
that
time
Liam
itself.
is some sort of time traveller. Would you go so far as to say maybe time doesn't change? It's not different for you personally.
Right.
You're just exceptionally lazy. And that you deny time.
I would not go as far as to say that I am lazy. I would say absolutely, categorically, that time is different for me.
Brilliant. Well, that's where Liam's been. I've been just on the other end of Civilization, really. I mean, the other person playing Civilization is me.
Yeah.
So, although time has passed Liam by in some sort of external void,
Yeah.
I have just been playing Civilization for 10 hours.
You've just accepted that you have been lazy and it was your fault. I've created a whole different time zone. So
brilliant. What should we do then? Should we have two features which have been heard before. What are they called?
We've got WOTO News
Mm-hmm.
and
Go on. This is why I asked you.
I know you asked me.
Because you came up with the itinerary for this podcast.
And Liam interviews.
And Liam interviews.
Yeah, we got a third.
What is it?
We got a third one.
No, what is the thing? What is it called?
I'm not telling you.
Oh, so it would just be a surprise.
It's gonna be a surprise. I think it should be a cliffhanger. This is it. Wait for it. This is the cliffhanger. You'll find out in about 15 minutes' time.
Oh, so it'll be the last thing we do.
It's going to be the last one. It's a brand new feature. I'm excited. I believe you're excited, but I haven't yet heard your excitement for it.
I mean, you could just go into the future and find out.
I could. Wait. You were disappointed.
I was.
Yeah, you were disappointed.
Yeah.
And everyone else was.
I can
But
imagine.
please stay along. It's going to be okay.
All right, let's do the first feature of the show. What will that be?
You choose either A or B.
A.
All right. Okay, it's time for Liam Interviews.
Liam Interviews.
Now, if you're new to this podcast, you may not be aware as to what's about to happen. But I'm going to bring in a guest. Brad doesn't quite know what the guest is or who the guest is.
Well, I'm not
yet.
here. It's irrelevant to me.
Yeah.
I'm already being ousted from the podcast.
Brad has to leave the studio, and
I'm
it is a
leaving the
studio. It's definitely a studio, not the sofa. It's a studio. And Brad leaves the room, and then I bring on a guest. So let's do that now.
Okay, hang on. I'm going to leave the room then.
That's his footsteps.
That's my footsteps.
Thank you.
And the door closing.
What did you just step on?
I'm not in the room.
Sorry.
You're alone in the room right now.
Okay, I would like to welcome my next guest. Hello.
I need to walk back. Aye, hello.
Right, hello.
Aye.
Now then,
What's that? Can I have a taste of that little drinky you've got there, my wee boy?
I'm not sure you can drink.
Do you mind? Oh, I'll tell you what. I'll find out who I am,
Yeah.
and then I'll decide whether I want a little drinky or that there whiskey. you've got.
All right. Now, it's time for my next guest, you.
Aye.
Hello. You are actually a plastic bag.
Of course.
So,
I'm rather parched.
now, as a plastic bag, what is the most favourite thing for you to carry inside you?
Oranges.
Oranges. Would you say that they're a source of nourishment? What's that? What's that noise?
That's me. I'm just adjusting myself in the seat.
Do you mean to say that your body literally makes that noise
Aye, very noisy.
every time you move?
Aye, yeah. And when I'm floating around, when people are carrying me, when I'm in transit.
What's the furthest you have floated around?
I floated from Las Vegas,
Yes.
America, to the moon.
Upwards. You floated. You flew.
All the way to the moon.
Wow. So you're saying
All the way to the moon, laddie.
getting very close to me now.
I can't control where I go. That's entirely down to the wind.
So you weren't propelling yourself. You haven't found some sort of.
Me.
Oh no, he's flying. He's floating away. Look, I've got you. I've got your
Aye,
handle.
Thank you.
Now, so you're saying that you can't propel yourself like a jellyfish.
Oranges.
All right.
I don't have a central nervous system to control my memory.
But you can speak, which is very useful for an interview situation.
Just this once, on the way here, I found a diplodocus
Yes.
who granted me 2 wishes.
And what did you wish for?
1,
To be full of oranges?
I'd like to be interviewed.
Right, yeah.
2, I'd like a voice.
Wow. Okay, is there anything that you'd like to tell the world as a plastic bag, the first plastic bag to ever speak to a human?
Right.
Is there something you'd like to say to the human race?
There's a magical diplodocus outside this studio, and everyone should know about it.
He's granted 2 wishes. Quick, everyone, make a queue. You could be the next talking plastic bag. It's incredible.
If there's one thing that I probably should tell everyone, it's about the magical diplodocus.
Wow.
Aye, thank you very much for having me.
Well, it's been absolutely a pleasure. Thank you so much.
Probably oranges.
Thank you very much. Goodbye, plastic bag.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Forever.
Goodbye. Brad, do you want to come back in? We honestly pay so much money for those sound effects.
That has cost us our lives.
An arm and a leg. I'm limbless.
I paid a human soul for those sound effects.
Yeah.
They were like, you can have some sound effects. I was like, all right, how much is it? A few quid?
Yeah.
No, it would be 1 human soul. That's how good they are.
It's the reason, actually, why we haven't done podcasts for a while is because they cost so much to produce.
Just cost so much.
Like an arm, a leg, a human soul. You know, it's delivering these for free on iTunes was a mistake.
It was a mistake, and it's really blowing the budget.
Yeah,
If anything.
if you can help out, send us maybe an arm.
Or
in the
a
post.
crisp £5 note.
Just send a crisp £5 note into our mailbox.
Yeah, into the PO box, which you'll find on the channel World of the Orange.
worldoftheorange.com.
Oh, that's not the channel.
Nope. But it is the website.
Yeah. So, who did you interview?
So I interviewed an incredible guest.
Yeah, go
One
on.
of the best we've had.
Who was it? Daniel Radcliffe?
No, it was a plastic
Channing
bag.
Tatum?
It was a plastic bag brought to life by a magical diplodocus.
Oh,
So-
there's another word that goes on the list.
There's some words I can't say.
Dissociative personality disorder. Diplodocus. What was
Yeah.
the other one? Why am I asking you?
I don't know.
Go back in time and find out.
I won't do it.
All right.
It cost me an arm and a leg.
Oh,
All right.
go on. What do you want to say?
I think.
Do you want your piece?
Would you like to do the next piece,
the next segment?
the next segment?
The next feature.
Would you like to do that?
All right. Yeah. Why don't you roll them titles?
I don't know whether we have any. We'll find out
We do.
now.
It's not a lie, it's WOTO news. It's not a lie, it's WOTO news. It's not a lie, it's WOTO news. It's not a lie, it's WOTO news.
Okay, well it's time for WOTO news.
The
where
titles said something.
It said something
was a
about
clue.
WOTO news. Couldn't tell you. What was that?
That's my toe. I can make it click on cue.
That's
Do you want me
pretty
to do
gross.
it down the thing?
Yeah, go on then. That's pretty gross.
Yeah?
Yeah.
That was the most interesting few seconds of the podcast. Could have been anything. That could have just been me like tapping a pen. It was absolutely my toe. I'll demonstrate in a video one day.
All right. Look.
What are you doing then? Go on, tell me the WOTO news.
Okay,
WOTO news.
so
what
it's
is it?
WOTO news.
What?
I'm going to tell a
Tell
very
me.
real news story.
You found yourself a news story, didn't you? From a veritable source.
Okay, so I was perusing the internet for news stories, and I have found one.
How?
Well, it was written as an article. I think it's actually quite an old one.
What was the website?
I couldn't tell you the website precisely.
Why not? Why would you
some
not?
sort of-
Why would you not record the source?
I think it's BBC News. I think,
BBC News.
yeah, no, this was an article on the BBC News website.
All right, so we're
But-
entering libel. We're territory.
Yeah.
Okay.
BBC News website absolutely featured this
Fact.
fact.
BBC, if you're listening, this following lie came from you.
Yep.
Fact.
It's not a lie, it's news.
Okay, yeah, fact. That's what facts are.
All right, so I found this absolutely real news story.
Mm.
So essentially, as I said, it's an old one. It's an old news story,
Yeah,
and it's about two men.
of course it is.
And
If they're adventurers, I will be sick.
they're walking through a valley.
Why? Why are they there?
There's two men. They're walking through a valley. They're gold prospectors, and essentially, it's very lonely. There's no people around.
Well, where
It's just
where
them.
in America are they? What bit?
Just probably the gold rush area.
What year is this? Is this now, modern day?
I would say it's probably 1980.
But, well, did it not say it in the article what year it was? They normally start with stuff like that.
You would have thought so. I'm gonna guess.
BBC probably wouldn't have fact checked. They're rubbish, aren't they? They
They
don't
probably
bother.
wouldn't have mentioned the date. No,
I mean, they barely check anything.
no.
They don't need to. They're only the BBC.
Well, that's just it. So anyway, you got these two men. No one's around for miles,
Okay.
apart from one simple lonely horse.
Oh. What, like tied up? Like, is he domesticated or
he's just a wild
just a
horse.
normal one?
He's standing middle distance.
Middle distance.
As if we're viewing it, he's middle distance.
Someone here has mastered space-time travel
Yeah.
and still refers to in distance between. What is it? Middle, long. What are the other options there for you?
Close distance,
You've got
middle
close,
distance,
middle,
and far distance.
And far distance.
Yes.
That's it.
And he's standing middle distance.
So the furthest you can see is
Mm.
far distance.
Absolutely.
And
yes.
what about like
That's horizon, far distance, horizon.
what about
middle
the sun?
distance. That's really far distance.
All right.
All this is fact.
Yeah.
All right, so you got two men. They're walking along. They've got hammers and chisels, and they're knocking around on rocks to find gold.
Hmm.
The gold prospectors.
That's what they do.
They're
yeah.
ignoring the
Just
horse.
knocking
The
around.
horse isn't really that important.
No,
to
it's not
them.
gold, is he?
Well, it's not
Why
gold.
would it-
Yeah, it's
why
not
would
made of
they?
gold.
They don't
It's
need
not
it.
worth anything. It's just a wild little lonely horse.
Rubbish.
So anyway, they come up to some rocks, and Jimmy, the old man,
Okay, yeah. Not the horse.
not the horse, he starts knocking at some rock,
Hmm.
and the rock breaks, and underneath it is not but gold, but looks to be a nose.
Oh.
And he's like, well, what's this? And he calls the other guy over, Trevor.
Trevor. Jimmy and Trevor.
Jimmy and Trevor, thank you. I've got the first one. Jimmy's knocking at the rock, and he uncovers what looks like to be a nose.
Wow.
And so Trevor joins in. He's like, "Well, this is crazy. This could be a new discovery of
Huge
a
new
civilization
discovery.
that perhaps existed millennia
Oh, not like
ago."
a human nose. What is it? Just a thing that's shaped like a
Well,
nose?
we don't know.
All right.
So
Well, what colour is it?
it looks to be skin colour.
Skin colour. Does it look soft or hard?
Well, it's looking a little bit hard.
And he's looking at it from close distance.
Very
He's not-
easy. Yeah, Jimmy's looking at it from close distance. Trevor's looking at it from about shoulder distance.
Oh, okay, we've got shoulder distance. So we've got close, middle, far, really far, and shoulder.
And shoulder, yeah. Measurements. So anyway, they chip at more rock and reveal a face.
Wow.
And they keep going for the whole afternoon and reveal a really big figure. Like a
Yes.
really strange, oddly shaped figure.
Wow, this is incredible. These
Um,
two indiscriminate guys in an indiscriminate part of America at an indiscriminate time have found
What appears to be a body
a body
trapped in rock.
in rock.
As they chip away the last piece of rock from the body,
Where was that? What bit of his body did that come off?
shoulder.
All right.
Just his shoulder. So they chip away the last bit of rock on his shoulder, and a dark, deep voice whispers, "Come." Like that, right?
Oh man. From where?
Just from anywhere. It was
Anywhere.
really weird.
Yeah. Well, did it sound like it was from far distance or sort of shoulder?
Close distance. Close distance.
Right.
Yeah.
Wow.
And
so
then,
that must have been
so the sun is setting at this point.
odd. Yeah.
Because, I mean, it's taken all day to chip away at this
Yeah, yeah.
thing. And
Possibly they're suffering from fatigue.
And probably some sort of sun-induced craziness, I would have thought. I mean,
Yeah,
if
yeah.
you're in the sun for that long, do wear a hat. So they hear the voice and it just says, "Come." Really dark, really deep, really scary.
Wow.
The horse trots over.
Oh my god, was the voice belonging to the
No, the
Oh.
horse. It was just whispering to the horse. The horse trots over to where Jimmy and Trevor are standing. The figure rises, right? And it's incredibly tall. And it
Wow.
steps towards them from the shadows. Remember, the sun is now setting, so
The
there
sun.
are shadows.
There are shadows.
There are shadows.
Wow.
Near distance shadows.
Shadows.
Probably leaning towards perhaps the right-hand side.
Okay.
So this figure is huge, it's tall, it's wearing a monstrosity of strange, futuristic shapes on its body and head. It's looking really scary, it's distorted, it's strange, and it says
Right, what?
In a low growl,
What did it say?
"I am Gaga, bringer of death and destroyer of worlds." And then they're stunned. They're just absolutely
Yeah, like-
livid.
Just like
Wrong
me.
word, but I do like it.
Stunned, yet incredibly
Yeah,
angry.
they're like, "Oh man, it's alive."
Oh, what?
We thought we'd found a statue,
A
but no,
statue.
it is alive. It gets up and it whispers and says in that deep, dark voice, "Bringer of death, destroyer of worlds," and it is Gaga. She gets on the horse.
She?
Yep. She gets on the horse. Flames burst from the ground
Wow.
and disappears. And that, weirdly enough, is how the music career of Lady Gaga got started. Lady Gaga
Oh, of course it was an origin story.
is
I
essentially...
forgot these. What you started doing with these.
Lady Gaga is essentially the fifth horseman of the apocalypse. No one knew it until now. I've uncovered the truth.
No,
This has been
BBC
WOTO
uncovered
News.
it. The BBC uncovered it, that's all.
Well, they forgot about it.
You
so
shone some light on it.
I shone some light
best.
on it.
Next segment, and of course the final segment,
Yes.
which was, as Liam called it, cliffhanger. It wasn't a cliffhanger because it's happening within the same episode. It was more like a bit of tease, a bit of foreshadowing at the beginning.
Yeah, I guess it is a bit of foreshadowing.
It's a new segment that we haven't practiced, we haven't thought about, and we made up as we pressed record.
Yes, that's right.
But it is something that we did years ago, I think.
Yep.
I mean, I don't really know what we're about to do, but I'm sure Liam will tell me during these titles.
1952, 1952, 1952, 1952.
Thank you for listening to the titles. Now, the final segment of the WOTO podcast.
Hello and welcome back.
Hey.
Okay, so the final segment of the WOTO podcast is called 1952. Now, true fans of World of the Orange will remember 1952 from a little known video, MoreMoreOrange, by the same name.
Now, as somebody who's probably I'd probably say I'm elevated above true fan, being
The creator of it.
One half member, I have no idea what that video is. Do you want to? Was that the thing with that we did with the dolphin in the house?
That's correct, yes. So 1952 is essentially...
Now they're expecting a dolphin in a house thing.
Oh, well, it's not going to be.
It's not.
Absolutely not. There's no dolphins, unless there is one.
Right, just come on,
So
explain it.
1952 is essentially where me and Brad tell a story of what happened in 1952 from the perspective of only one person. We are both
The
same person. Which sounds confusing. It is confusing.
Does he speak different? He does, doesn't he?
1952.
1952.
In 19... You've got to really, really go from the...
1952.
1952. Now, I'm just watching a cat in that window over there.
What
Just looking out a window.
There is no
looking
window.
out a window.
There is no window, Liam.
You're in a void, Liam.
The year is 1952, and
I've
you're
time travelled
trapped
again.
in a void. Yeah,
That's what it is.
you've travelled to a time where there are no windows. That's not a cat. That's a human man. It's not even a cat. That's a man.
That is literally a man.
You're a liar. You're
A liar,
sir.
a thief,
all
and
you've
a
done,
catist.
all you've done so far in this podcast is lie, isn't it?
I have not.
You've lied about the fact that you can time travel. You lied about the fact that you spoke to a bloody bin bag or whatever you said, and you've lied about some people finding Lady Gaga in some rock. What? How would you like to end it? Would you like to end it with a lie?
Yes.
Okay. Well, in 1952.
In 1952. Now, in 1952, I was walking down the main road of my town, Albuquerque,
which is located in Pennsylvania, Maine, Ukraine.
Now, in Pennsylvania, Ukraine, a dark period.
Yes. Yeah, all of the lights went out. It was known at the time as a power cut.
as a power cut. Now,
The Great Power Cut,
of Ukraine.
1952.
Now, it turns out the power cut was actually caused by a large portal opening up streams of monsters, beasts,
Huge beasts,
incantations,
spirits, wraiths,
all over the place.
goblins, cats that looked like men.
Cats look like men in windows.
It was
Full of them.
absolutely-
There were so many of those cats that look like
It
men.
was a terrifying time for myself, my wife, my 4 children, Gladys, Bobby Jr., and Gladys the Fourth.
Gladys the Fourth obviously died pretty quick.
Rest in peace. Her soul was immediately gobbled up by a soul wraith, cat man, window man eater.
Now, we found out, me, myself, Gladys, and Boris the Jr. Was that his name?
Yes, now it is.
Boris the Jr.
They had many names, just as they had many lives.
We actually traded in Gladys the Fourth. We traded in her soul
Yes.
in return
For an apple.
for an apple, which honestly wasn't worth it.
It wasn't worth it because apples from the dimension where the portal opened up were absolutely awful. They were more akin to a lamb's heart.
A lamb's heart mixed with gherkin, and
It
as you
was
know,
Absolutely disgusting.
you don't want that.
No. So what we did was we took Boris Jr. and we traded his soul back for the taste to be removed from our mouths.
And sadly, they got it wrong again. Because
I mean, this basically continued down through all the children until
Yes.
eventually I had nothing left to trade but my wife.
And I did trade her, and I said to them, "You can take my wife, but you can't take my freedom." And I gave them Gladys. I said, "I'll trade it back for the portal to be gone. I just don't want it.
Just take the portal away.
Just take it away.
If
move
anything,
it."
it's become a huge inconvenience to
Yes.
my life. Those children were the only people that I had to till the farm, and now you've taken my wife.
If some of the wraiths and some of the ghosts and spectres could come along, perhaps till my farm for me, that would be just grand.
That would be grand. So, all in all, the portal closes. I was given 3 wraiths,
Yes,
4 halfpennies,
yes.
and a cat window man, which I've placed actually in a little London studio just outside, just to really freak out anybody who might be working there. You know, maybe recording a podcast. Yeah, the great portal of 1952 and the great blackout really was an inconvenience to my life, but it did open
Many doors.
some serious doors. I mean, I was able to remarry, which was absolutely wonderful.
Because, to be quite honest, Gladys was nothing compared to the wraith that I fell in love with.
She's a wonderful wraith, very skinny,
She's skinny.
translucent.
She looks like a jellyfish.
She sounds like a jellyfish. She acts like shit.
She occasionally stings me. I've been duped.
That portal, do you think perhaps it was an aquarium?
God damn it. The power cut kicked in. I walked into an aquarium shop. Got stung a few times.
An aquarium shop?
My wife and children drowned.
What's an aquarium shop? A place where you're going to buy...
Just full of aquariums.
Oh, Jesus. Well, that was...
And that was 1952, everybody.
1952.
Well, this has been around about 30 minutes long, which is perfect.
That's what we were going for, wasn't it?
It was what we were going for. I hope you all enjoyed it.
Yes, by all means. Join us next week for the podcast.
The podcast. You can tweet us at LoveWOTO or at BuffWOTO and tell us what you thought of it.
Yeah.
If you want.
Are you going to make up a new feature for next week?
I will.
Ooh.
It's not going to be a new feature each week, just next week.
We didn't want to overload this one with new features.
We didn't want to I've got a time travelling problem. Brad calls it laziness. There's only going to be up to 4 new features.
All right then.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Goodbye then.
See you later.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Goodbye then.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye. And goodbye.
Goodbye.
That's goodbye from me and goodbye.
Goodbye.